I've made many mistakes on my journey to financial independence, some which have lost me tens of thousands of dollars. Today, I'm here to talk about the most expensive mistake I've ever made. So, let's start by rewinding. I found the FIRE movement in my early 20s, and I jumped on that train hard. If you're not familiar with the acronym, it stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. The idea behind it is that you drive down your expenses as low as possible, often through ridiculous means, while working to increase income, and you stack all that cash in index funds. Once you have 25 times your annual expenses invested, you're free to retire, banking on a 4% withdrawal rate. And there's nothing inherently wrong or bad about this method. It's just much slower, as it requires a big stack of cash to be able to unchain yourself from the system. The idea behind cash flow investing is that you can exit the traditional workforce once you have 10x your annual expenses invested, and the rest, that's growth, baby. So, if you have annual expenses of $100K, you need $2.5 million in the traditional index fund world, but only $1 million if you're investing in cash flowing assets. I'm not embarrassed to admit that when I first heard of it, I was opposed to it. Not based on any logic, but because I didn't fully understand it. It felt much more complicated than I was used to, and quite frankly, I was intimidated. Instead of leaning into a beginner's mindset and learning, I stuck with the plan I was on. It was just easier. I was stuck in a scarcity mindset, and it cost me years. Mindset shift of going from, I have an index fund portfolio worth X dollars, to my investments produce monthly or quarterly cash flow of Y, took me some getting used to. And to be super clear, I still own index funds. They're just no longer the largest piece of my pie. But the traditional plan banks on the market continuing to rise, whereas having a portfolio that includes alternatives such as apartment buildings, real estate-backed mortgage notes, debt funds, promissory notes, ATMs and ATM funds, car washes, laundromats, blogs, music royalties, SaaS businesses, and things of that nature, you obviously want the asset prices to rise, but you're not dependent on it. So whereas public stocks may go through a major multi-year dip and pay you absolutely nothing to hold it, like the S&P 500 did from 2000 all the way to 2012, an industrial real estate fund may pay you 8 to 10% to hold it. So not only are you cash flowing, you're de-risking your entire portfolio. Now, 10x is still a big number, and it's probably not going to happen overnight for most of us, but it's much more manageable than 25x, and it's certainly more manageable than staying in the traditional workforce until you're 65, in my opinion. Most expensive mistake I've made was waiting to get started. Even if you're early on in your journey, I highly recommend you start learning now so that when you have the capital, you're ready to go. Your future self will thank you for it.